welcome to IOI Monthly episode number 16. My name is Travis, I'm the communications manager here at IO Interactive, and I'm joined by Clemens.
Hello.
And today we're going to be talking about Hitman 3. We're going to be talking about some of the pre-order options that we announced earlier this week. We're going to be talking about Dartmoor, the new location that we announced earlier in the month, because we're at the very last day of August.
We promised it. We said it was going to be late.
Yeah.
Later.
And we're also going to have special guests joining us later.
Yes.
We're going to have Eskil and Sissel from the VR team joining us. They were just sitting outside waiting. We're going to have a shift of furniture at some point during the show.
Don't spoil, Travis. It's going to be great.
It's going to be great. So we have a very sharp agenda for today. We also have plenty of time separated for chat. I'm hearing audio is low. Louder. A bit louder will be nice. I'm saying this out loud so our audio design team can make that adjustment, so you should be hearing that now. I cannot hear, I'm left deaf. Okay, so we've turned up sound. Please confirm that it's good to go, and we will talk about what's coming up as well. Audio is perfect for me. Okay, so
All right, great.
not just audio, I think we're good.
Cool.
Yes, so as I was saying, we will also have plenty of time for questions. We've grabbed some questions from mostly from Hitman Forum. We've also looked through the Reddit thread and Discord. A lot of the questions overlapped. Yes, it's fine right now. Cool. Okay.
All right, we got sound.
So, sounds good. Let's talk about our agenda, which I've just ran through. We also have questions, as we said. We're making sure there's time for questions.
Yes.
So, let's go to the first thing we want to talk about.
Pre-orders.
Transition over. Yes.
Transition over. Okay.
So the game is now available for pre-order.
Yes, we announced that last week.
Yes.
With So pre-order going live. We updated Hitman.com and pre-order went live Thursday, and it's always nerve-wracking because it's a big day for us as well, right? And so we're really looking forward to that. And we have two very cool versions.
Yes, we do. So first of all, we think it makes sense that we put out a blog post. If you want to read about everything we've put for pre-orders, you can of course check that on the website ioi.dk /Hitman 3 pre-order. I think it is. If you find ioi.dk, it's the top
It should be the
story.
first post if you go to ioi.dk right now. So it's very should be very easy to find.
So we have two editions of the game. We have the standard edition, which includes the game. We also have the deluxe edition of the game, which includes everything you would get in the standard edition, plus it includes the deluxe pack.
Yes.
And the deluxe pack is the only difference between the standard edition and the deluxe edition. And the deluxe pack comes with a whole bunch of cool stuff. So it comes with deluxe suits, deluxe items, and deluxe escalations as well. We also have digital soundtracks. Mm-hmm. That's the soundtracks from Hitman 1, Hitman 2, and Hitman 3.
Surprise!
As well as The World of Hitman, a digital book that we're putting together. More details about that later. Not in the stream, later down the line.
Later down the line,
as well as a director commentary where our game director Matthias will introduce each mission from the game. So it's a nice extra to have additional insight into each level directly from the game director.
But the cool thing is that no matter what version you choose, if you pre-order, you can get the Trinity Pack, which gives you 3 very, very awesome suits that symbolizes and like almost is an homage to the previous 2 games. So you have the white professional suit from Hitman 1, have the more red and playful suit from Hitman 2, and then what was it called? Dark, not dark and black, it's called
the Ultimate Black.
The Ultimate Black, because that's better, obviously. That symbolizes the dark tone that Hitman 3 will have.
Yeah, so that was the idea, to have something that sort of calls out all of the games in the World of Assassination trilogy, and to have a pre-order bonus that fits across both editions, like we said.
Exactly.
Whichever edition you want to get, you get this.
Yes,
so
by pre-ordering.
The very simple recap is standard edition, get you the game, pre-order it, you get Trinity Pack as well.
Yeah.
Then you have deluxe edition, that includes everything from standard edition, plus deluxe pack. Deluxe pack includes all the cool stuff that we just went through.
Exactly.
Pre-order that, you get Trinity Pack as well.
Exactly. So no matter what you pre-order, you get the Trinity Pack.
Yeah. I also want to make it abundantly clear that yes, there will be physical versions of the game. You can go on hitman.com right now, and right next to where you can pre-order the standard edition is a big button that says retail pre-order coming soon. So that's definitely a thing that's happening. Obviously, we are talking about digital versions right now, because those are the pre-orders that are available. Those are the details that we have. As soon as we have more information about physical versions and how many you'll get, we'll obviously share those as well. That's obviously something that's very important for a lot of people, and that we'll talk about when we have information on it.
Yeah. But if you want even more information about the pre-orders, you can just go and read the blog post on IOI. We also talk about the free next gen upgrade.
Yeah.
Epic and everything. So go read the blog if you have more questions.
Yeah, the next gen upgrade is a really, really cool thing. Where the very short version of it is that on PlayStation, if you were to buy, including a pre-order, the digital version of the game, you will then also be entitled to a download of the PS5 version of the game. And on Xbox, we're using the smart delivery.
Smart delivery. So smart.
So smart.
I don't know.
The smart delivery system, so that the game will... you buy the game once, and depending on which system you play, you get the optimized version. Yes. Trying to see if there's any good questions we can answer about that. I'm sure we'll get to some when we talk about questions. Yeah. Because that will also come up when we get to the questions section.
Clement Smart.
People are saying Clement Smart. So if you're on Twitch and watching and you drop a comment, we can see it down in front of us. So if you're just looking down all the time,
it's not because we have very interesting shoes on. It's because we have the screen down there.
Speak for yourself.
I have black shoes.
Last time a lot of people commented on my socks. So
but
I'm not wearing luminous clown socks this time. So we've talked about pre-orders. We've talked about the editions of the game.
Yes.
Let's make it abundantly clear where you can get that.
Yes.
So on PlayStation Store right now, the games, both editions, are up for pre-order digitally. The same on the Xbox Store. For PC, the game is on Epic Game Store, and also on Stadia as well, where pre-orders are coming next month is the plan.
Yeah.
So coming soon.
We will have more details about that when we know exactly.
Of course. We're aiming for as soon as possible. We know that Stadia players want to get pre-ordering, so when we've got details there, they will of course be shared. That's kind of the theme of, yes, we know there's a lot of information people want, and as soon as we have answers to those questions, we will get them out there.
Exactly.
Yes. Right. So
I'm not saying yes anymore.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
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 I saw that comment.
Yeah, I saw it too. Oh my god.
We're gonna have to do like right-click synonyms. Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Cool. And
right,
we will hear all the
good.
synonyms now. Last night I spent all the night just learning how to say yes without saying yes.
Talking of Stadia.
Yes. Perfect segue to our next segment.
Which is what, Clemens?
Stadia. Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hitman 1 and Hitman 2 will be available on Stadia.
Yes.
And if you're a Stadia Pro member, you can play Hitman 1 for free or as part of your subscription.
Absolutely. And the really, really cool thing about the Stadia version of the game is that the Hitman 1, Hitman 2, and Hitman 3 are going to be released under a game that's called Hitman World of Assassination. So regardless which games you choose to own from the trilogy, whether you want to get Stadia 1 and Hitman 1 on Stadia Pro, that will sit under World of Assassination. If you choose to buy Hitman 2, that will be there right ready when you want to play.
Yeah.
And then come January when you want to play Hitman 3 and you buy that, then Hitman 1, 2, and 3 will be under the banner of World of Assassination. So you have everything together in one awesome place.
This is our single executable fantasy.
Yes.
As well, right?
So we have that, and of course we also have items that are unique to Stadia. So we have the Sunset Rubber Duck, which you can see here, an explosive rubber duck. You can see 47 exploding it. You can see the orange pinstripe briefcase as well, which is, I believe it's a white briefcase with, as the name would suggest, an orange pinstripe on the top of it. And the one thing that you don't see in this trailer is
the white sunset suit.
Yes, the white sunset suit, which is a Stadia exclusive suit. The suit you're seeing right here is the suit for the Dubai location. That's where this footage is recorded. And we'll have a visual of that suit to show you very soon for Stadia. So tomorrow, the Stadia version of the game is out.
Exactly. And we made a very cool trailer showing this off.
Yeah.
So I think we should take a look at it.
Okay, absolutely. Let's do that.
Run trailer.
All right, that's our Stadia trailer, giving all the information you need about Stadia,
Yeah.
coming tomorrow.
Yeah.
With Hitman World of Assassination.
1st of September. Again, also, if you want more information, IOIDK, we have a blog post about that as well.
Of course we do. So we want to jump into some of the questions that we've seen on the forum, on our social channels. You're also welcome to... Please talk louder, videos less loud. Okay, let's talk louder. Let's take questions. So you can see on the screen we're looking for questions. We've already grabbed some questions. You're also welcome to chuck some questions at us in the chat. And we'll get to that. I'm still seeing comments. Stop screaming. Yeah, okay. Right, so I have questions here. So the first question I want to talk about is a pretty obvious one, actually, from Kevin Rudd on Hitman Forum, talking about some of the fan feedback that's been implemented for Hitman 3. And a lot of the things that we have implemented that has come from our players has not been shown yet.
Mm-hmm.
We have some cool things that I'm actually looking forward to show off that, you know, we saw the first dev video we did.
Yeah.
You were the one that said it, and you said there's a lot of things people have been asking for that will be in Hitman 3.
Yes, have been implemented. Yeah.
And we haven't shown them yet.
No.
We will get round to that. We do have a plan for what we show when and how. So I guess it's a case of wait and see, trust us. We have a plan for it.
There are some cool things in there.
We think you'll like it.
Yeah, definitely.
Another question. You want to take this
we were asked about why the Roman numerals in Hitman 3. It's just the logo. It is Hitman 3, but we decided to... The designers went for that numeral in the logo. So it's only the logo. The game is Hitman 3, so...
Yeah, when you write it, just the number 3.
Yeah, it's
when
fine.
you say it, Hitman 3. I see a lot of people writing it with 3 eyes and all that stuff.
Yeah. Just don't.
I know it's a bit unusual because it looks like a barcode. That was one of the things we thought. Yeah, that looks nice. Also, when you looked at the when we looked at the logo with the numeral 3, it did look too similar to a 2, depending on where you would put it. Right. So we were looking at the logo creatively for how does it look when you put it in all the different places we might want to put the logo, and the 2 and the 3 sometimes look too close. So we've made sure to make it obvious when we're talking about Hitman 3. You see that logo, you know it's Hitman 3. Don't write it as the logo says it. You can write it with a 3. Yeah. So there was also 2 questions that I want to take about Hitman 2. One of them comes from The Chicken, and the other one comes from musical mushrooms, 2 entirely different things.
I read it as magical mushrooms as
So
well.
the Chicken wants to know about post-launch content for Hitman 2. So I want to put a nice bow on Hitman 2. We're not planning any more live content or roadmaps for Hitman 2, and there is no final patch planned for the game either. It might well be that we need to do some very, very minor patches for back-end things, but in terms of fixes or new content for Hitman 2, that's not in the timeline. The plan is solely on Hitman 3, making that as good and as rounded as that possibly can be for launch in January. It also gives us, in the marketing and communications team, a whole lot of time that we would otherwise be using on Hitman 2 to put our full efforts into Hitman 3 to make sure that we have as much information there as possible.
Yeah.
Yes. So other questions that we jump through, and then we'll take some from chat as well. I can see them coming through.
There's also a question regarding benefits of next-gen consoles on Hitman 3. And there will be some. But what exactly it's going to be, what the hardware will let us do and stuff, that will make sense for our game. We don't know exactly yet, but something like improved visuals and fast load times are given.
Yeah, I mean, the team are still working on that.
Exactly. So we don't know exactly, but we know there will be some.
Yeah, of course, and we're really excited to share it. You know,
Definitely.
Just as anyone else who is interested in the next generation of consoles, we're also super keen,
of course,
to get more involved with the actual hardware and what's possible. We have some insights, of course, but we really, really want to get sort of the details out there of how Hitman on next gen will be performing. Really,
and it will be like we will like a lot of news drops, so we want it to be just right and exactly what we can expect and stuff before we say anything.
Yeah. So there's a question about progression carryover details. We see that a lot. How is that going to work? Can I move from this platform to this platform? One of the first things we said in the announcement blog was that we will share those details when we have it. It's a really big thing for us to detail and make sure that when we talk about it, we want clarity on making sure that all of it is clear on what you can do and answer as many of the questions as possible. We don't want to put information out that's half-baked. We want to make sure that when we put something out there, it's abundantly clear how things will work. We did the same between Hitman 1 and 2 with the Legacy Pack about how to import locations, where we had as comprehensive a guide as possible for the various ways to move your locations from game to game. We know that there's a lot of people in unique situations with various things that they own, and we want to cover all of those questions so that when we do talk about it and when that is a discussion point we're ready to take, that all of the information that you could need, depending on your situation with the game and what you own and what platform you're on and what platform you're moving to or want to move to, is covered. So that one is, it's not a non-answer because there's a lot that we want to say about it. We just need to do it right at the right time. Yes.
Yeah.
I can see questions in chat now about will it be possible to transfer this to this and that to that. That answer that I just gave is for those questions. You'll have to wait for all of the answer at once, because we don't want to do one thing and leave other people out. We need to cover it all in one go. So we will do that.
There's a very good question as well. Can you upgrade to the deluxe edition if you have the standard edition? And the answer is simple. Yes, you can. Once post-launch, after the release, you will be able to buy the deluxe pack. It's pretty simple.
Yes, we wanted to make sure that the release model is as simple as possible. Nice and simple was the key message. So you have the standard edition, and if you get that now, and at some point in the time, later down the line, you think, hey, you know what? I want to get more Hitman 3. You can buy the deluxe pack, and then you have essentially everything that was in the deluxe edition.
Yeah.
So there's a very easy offering of standard and deluxe. If you don't have the deluxe pack and you want the deluxe pack, then you'll be able to buy it. Nice and simple.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
Not much more to say about it.
No, that's
we thought about it, and that's
and
cool. I'm seeing a lot of people asking about what about certain content on all various different types of platforms. We'll talk about that at a good point in time. I think we still have months in the campaign, and I think our past record of doing elusive target reruns and making sure that new players are covered, like when we put the disc version out of Hitman 1, once all the episodes were out, we did a rerun of the elusive targets. I think there's a lot of precedent that we've set with how we try to make sure that as many people as possible have good chance to play all the stuff we put out, can get that. Yeah. So I think that's all the questions. There's one final question about putting throwback about putting Sniper Challenge on GOG. This came from Discord. Sniper Challenge, of course, from the Absolution days. I know that Absolution is on GOG. I'll ask.
Yeah,
I don't know. I saw the question was like, let's check.
Yeah.
We'll also talk to GOG about if they'd be up for that. I guess in theory it's possible. We'll just have to talk about it. The final thing I want to talk about is Ghost Mode. Today, we announced it, when was it, a few weeks back, that the Ghost Mode servers in Hitman 2 will be sunset. That has happened already. We saw a great sign-off to the mode at the weekend from the speedrun community. So we got behind that from a studio point of view. We put Hitman 3 game codes on the line for the people that got to the final. They got standard editions guaranteed of the game, and if you won from your platform, then you took home the deluxe edition of the game, to really put the pressure on those final
and
places.
Finally, it was really it was nice, and it was good to see that Ghost Mode was sent off properly with the guys playing and girls playing. It was great to see.
You were watching a whole lot of it, right? Tweeting along and hosting from the IO Twitch
doing
channel,
all we could.
We
did what we could to help them set this, like it was like a Viking funeral.
Like one final raise of the glass to go.
Exactly. It was very nice. So shout out to everyone who was participating and watching, and of course to the people who made it happen. Thank you much. It was very cool to see. Thanks, guys.
So there was I see questions, we'll take this as the final one. There was questions about the Phantom suit, which is the suit that you can unlock in Hitman 2 Ghost Mode for killing 100 targets. That will be an unlock in Hitman 3, and I've requested that it's not an easy one to get.
Just to
the people that have got it have earned it, and it shouldn't be an easy unlock in Hitman 3. I say that now to put pressure on the game designers to make it happen and make it a difficult unlock.
What I said here is
that's
official.
what I would like to see.
That's official. It's now.
So I've requested it. One other thing about the Trinity Pack that I want to mention.
Yes.
Is that we also requested that the black gun in the Hitman 3 suit is as close to what is known by many members of the Hitman community as the black baller as possible.
Yeah.
That was something that I asked for when I knew we were doing a black gun. I know that those who know, so this is a bit of an inside story. If you don't, then maybe people in chat can tell you. But I hope it is as close to the gun as possible. It was requested to be, and I know that the team did their best, so I hope if you know what the black baller is, then you'll be happy with what comes with the Trinity Pack. It felt like our last chance to get that gun in the game.
When we heard it was a black gun, we were like two chipmunks. Like,
let's hope that's the case.
Yeah.
Right, let's go on from questions. We will have sort of more live questions when we are talking to
Eskil
and Sissel, who will hear from the
name.
VR team very, very shortly. I think they are probably watching the stream thinking, hurry up, dude, get to our section. We'll get there shortly. Eskil and Sissel, if you're watching, you can feel free to bang on the window if you're outside.
They're listening. They're standing right here.
Are they standing outside?
Yeah.
I can't see them, but they may be
They're eating
outside.
chocolate. There's a lot of chocolates outside.
We're upstairs in the Miami meeting room right now. There are sort of like palm trees that we... Oh, can you see them? Yeah, you can see them. We have like Miami palm trees and stuff. I see Eskil now looking in, so he's
not yet
getting ready to come in. Cool, so we still have England, Dartmoor to talk about briefly.
Yeah.
Then we have VR, and that will be a wrap for the show. We're about halfway.
Approximately.
So let's jump straight into talking about England, and we'll also talk about VR.
Dark and gloomy.
And take questions about VR when we get there.
And we're going to England.
We're going to Dartmoor. O'Reilly.
I thought we had a cool transition. Why didn't I make a cool transition? It's
no
all
cool
on me.
transition?
God.
You should have made a transition.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's talk England, and then we'll talk VR.
Yes.
Saying that also to the guys outside waiting to come in. Right, so from the very top, very, very top, we've shown Dartmoor. No.
Yeah.
Yes, we have.
Yeah, it's Dartmoor.
And before that, we showed Dubai. That's the order I wanted to go.
Yeah.
So Dartmoor was the second location that we've revealed for Hitman 3. It's the second location that you'll play in the game.
And we did a very cool thing showing off Dartmoor.
Yeah.
I think because we normally show off the locations, like what you can do, what you can expect. But this time around, we actually showed off one of the mission stories, which is a murder mystery. I think people that have seen the trailer will have gotten that vibe, hopefully. Which was a brand new thing to do in a game like Hitman.
Yeah, I mean, normally we show off everything that's possible in the location, but we thought that the aspect of one of the mission stories or opportunities was a really, really unique aspect of it that we just wanted to lean in on. And then make sure people know that it is just one element of the game.
It is just one. You can play it as any other Hitman level if you want to and do your normal Hitman stuff.
Yeah,
but you can also travel along this very, very awesome story that they've made. And you've seen the spider web of stories and leads and links.
Yes. We mentioned that in the blog post we put out as well, that right next to the writers department, I guess, is like this big board of strings between pins and post-it notes and names of people and how they all connect to each other. So I saw a lot of people talking about this, and I want to sort of go through some of the elements. But before we get that, we talked about it being in England. So the game hasn't had an England level for, I think it's since Absolution, I want to say. The ending of Absolution was in England, in Cornwall, I think, which is not too far from Dartmoor, South Coast-esque. But when you're in the level, you have this huge manor, Thornbridge Manor. And you can explore inside the manor. You can explore the manor grounds. There are various, what we call biomes, like various areas around the manor that you can explore. And then you can go into the manor where we have many, many different rooms and areas, some that you would expect. But then, because it's like this old manor, we wanted the murder mystery to be part of it, we have like places where You can have sliding doors and hidden
Yeah,
compartments.
there's a hidden areas and everyone.
All sorts of really, really nice things where you can sort of explore places that you're not supposed to explore, even if you are sort of allowed to be in those areas in the usual Hitman-y way, right? So that's really cool. We also have the entire family who are there.
And they have full bios, all of them. So there's like deep story, deep rich story to each character in this location, this level. This is really cool.
The family are a really key part to the murder mystery. So again, let's lean in a little bit on the murder mystery aspect of the level and just sort of put out more information there about, without spoiling anything, just a little bit more about slightly to how it works and confirm some things that I've seen people discussing or not sure about. So first of all, it's just one possibility. Of course. The murder mystery is not the whole level. No. It's just one option. You also don't start in the detective outfit.
No. You know,
because it's
Hitman.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to get that disguise yourself.
Because it's part of a mission story, you've never started in a mission story outfit.
No.
Disguise, right? You have to get that yourself. You start in the Dartmoor suit.
Yeah.
You want to play detective and get the detective or private investigator suit. Then you've got to get that yourself. Also, the murder mystery does not the murder mystery doesn't affect who your targets are in the level. The murder mystery is a way to it works as a mission story. If you're familiar with mission stories and what they aim to achieve, this is what the murder mystery mission story will do. It's just a really unique, elaborate, awesome experience of figuring out what happened. And we really use the intel functions in the game, where we have when you gather intel in the game, as you've done in the previous games, you can go in and sort of see what you've gathered. You can do that as well, and it's structured around the mission story if you're doing the mission story of the mission story of the murder mystery. So it works really well. I tried it for the first time a few days ago and was talking to the level designer like, dude, this is really cool. And he was like, yeah, like they're really glad that they have the ability to sort of check back to what you've picked up, check back into who you've spoken to and the clues that you found, and then it goes from there. I'm trying to keep it as spoiler free as possible, but also explain a little bit about how it works.
I talked with some of the sound guys, and I actually went on a field trip with some of the sound guys, recording audio for this level, and they've really gone through, like, they really want to make this every room unique in this mansion, so that's very, very cool, and it's very I think it's a very unique level in sort of that it's not been done before this kind of way in a Hitman game.
Yeah, I mean, a murder mystery is really, I think I also wrote this in the blog, that it's something that has sort of come up as like, hey, let's do this. This could be a really great thing to do. And the stars aligned in a way where, you know, everyone was up for it. It made sense in this location, and the idea sort of was able to take steps forward and actually be made to happen. Rather than just being an idea, it made sense, and we went for it.
Yeah, exactly, and that was like the team was like totally committed to make this work, even though it had its struggles to make it work, and the end goal is just amazing.
Yeah, and I think the last thing we'll say is that it's very British.
It's very British, and they did a lot of things to make it that British. It's very cool.
So in terms of audio and environment art, pretty much like as a British person, I'm like, yep.
Yeah.
You got it. You got it. Like it's really great to see the stereotypical British things done in an IO way is really cool.
But still classy, and it works really well. I think it's really cool.
Yes. So what we're going to do now is we are going to show you the trailer. If you need to get caught up with what Dartmoor is about and the vibe and some of the things that are included in it, we'll show you the trailer that you may have already seen. You can take another look. And when we come back, we'll be talking VR.
Or pick up a glass of water, because it's important to
hydrate.
Well, we will get Cecil and Eskil in here and talk some Hitman VR.
Cool, let's do that.
There's been a death at Thornbridge Manor. An apparent suicide. The door locked from the inside. But this was a murder.
You little backstabbing prick!
The family has a dark past. The manor is full of old secrets. Any one of them could be the killer. Our target has hired the best detective of our generation to solve the crime. An excellent opportunity to get close. Don't you think, 47?
Welcome back. That was your first look. Not an exclusive trailer. That was your next look at Dartmoor, the new location that's coming to Hitman 3. We've done a little bit of a scene change. Clemens has morphed into Cecil and Eskil from the VR team. So to catch people up entirely, if they don't know, when Hitman 3 launches, it will launch with VR support, PlayStation VR support. And you guys are here to talk to me about why VR is cool, how it changes some of the gameplay elements, tell some stories about how it is to develop for the game, how it is to play the game in VR. But we want to start by showing people what we've shown the world the first time. If you take yourself back to State of Play and the Sony live stream when we were sort of ready to show VR to the world. We're going to run that trailer again, let people watch that, catch up with everything that went on. And then we'll talk some details and share some new information about Hitman and VR.
Cool. Sounds good.
Let's do that. Run trailer. Any second now, we'll run the trailer.
This is your big day. You should mingle, have fun.
Oh, don't worry about that. My art speaks for itself.
Well, I have to go. I'll call you when I get back to New York. Cool. So that was our announcement trailer.
Yes.
So I want to start by sort of asking you guys how it was to sort of reveal and see this trailer appear on a live stream for the first time after like what, a year plus of working on Hitman VR as this top secret that no one saw coming, and then boom, it's out. How does that feel?
It was so exciting. We were saying the day before, we were like, tomorrow's Christmas Eve, because we were so excited, because we've been like, our minds and bodies have been like inside this for so long, and we haven't been able to talk to it,
right, of course.
To talk about it, and so we were like so hyped to see it.
Yeah, we were, and also that we managed to keep it a secret, because we found out that a lot of the reaction videos that we saw, that people did not see this coming at all, and that was a thrill for us as well, right? To actually see people freaking out not thinking that, oh my god, it's in VR, and then on top of that it's all 3 games, right?
Yeah.
So the morning after we were like watching reaction videos and we were like,
just endlessly.
Like people like in the trailer when you're in third person, people are like, oh, okay, more Hitman, okay, fine. And like, what? That was just that was we were very happy to see the reactions from this, right?
I think it was really awesome that we did manage to have that sort of like you said, that moment where you do think it's just another Hitman trailer, and then you sort of realize in real time almost, right? And you guys were involved in sort of guiding the trailer along and how it should look, and like playing it so that people can see how it looks. That must have been pretty cool as well, that it was sort of
we wanted to do this
in a sense, although I know you probably had 100 ideas that didn't
we did. But I think it ended up being a great teaser, right? With this bait and switch, you think it's the normal Hitman game, and suddenly it's not, and it states that it's in VR, right? And then showing the promise of being in first person, and the iconic fiber wire that actually being in the game, right? And the black gloves as well.
Yes.
So
it's a lot of cool stuff, and that was like the start of August 6 or 7, as I remember. And then since then we've also sort of had you on the marketing train of, let's do a dev video, as we called it, let's do an AMA. It must be sort of strange to come from keeping everything top secret to then having me pester you for releasing new details for like a solid month. It's like a lot that's come out, right? We've talked about how it is to play a little bit, and we showed some cool clips in the dev video as well.
And a GIF here and there.
Yeah, a small GIF
and a little GIF for Ian.
Yes, of course, Ian from Eurogamer. Sort of, his reaction was one of the most powerful ones, I think. Yes. We showed it a few weeks ago, right, at a full team meeting. So people that don't know is Ian from Eurogamer, who does Ian's VR corner. Sort of, like you said, right, who freaked out at the news, right? He was one of them. He loved it, right?
Well, he was just a soulmate because we love Hitman. Like really, we do, as a lot of people in here, and most people at the studio, of course. But we also just basically just love VR. And seeing him.
Being the same combo as
being the same combo as us, and then seeing him sort of like, wait, what? Was brilliant for us, right?
Because that's kind of the starting point of why we started making it. It's because we love VR and because we love Hitman. It's like, ooh,
can we merge these two, please?
Let's talk about it. So, you know, I guess a long time ago, you started saying there that, you know, you thought Hitman was cool. Obviously, you've been working on the game for many years between the two of you. Let's not add them together, but it's probably quite a lot. Going back to Absolution-ish days and Hitman 1-ish days, right thereabouts. Maybe even before Blood Money days. I still looking.
No, not me. No, I onboarded during the end of Absolution.
Okay, so Absolution days, right? So that's
it's still
a chunk of years between
some years. Back.
Yes, and then VR. So like from you guys that are working on it so intensively, why is Hitman in VR so cool?
Well, I mean, first of all, like the pace of the game suits VR really well. Like stealth games are just they work really well in VR because it's slow pace. You don't have to run around and jump and like feel sick and stuff, right? And then just the level of detail in our game, I think, as well. And then the sandbox. I think the openness of just going in and looking at the details of the game was kind of the first like what we knew that was going to be cool.
But I don't think we knew how extraordinary amazed we would be of the level of detail. We've been playing Hitman and the earlier levels like for hours and hours. We've been working on them for years, and we still actually to this day get amazed of stuff that we thought we've seen everything, and we found out that we had absolutely not. Even like a level of like Paris that we played for 5 years, maybe more. Like when you played in VR, it's actually like, oh, I never heard this line of dialogue. I never saw this little piece of propping or whatever. Right? We put Jakob in the mask. Jakob, who was track lead on the Paris map in from the season 1. and seeing him react to the level that he built a lot of himself, and his reaction to it, where he was like really just being overwhelmed. No, he was overwhelmed, and he was like, holy cow, this is insane. And he said, I'm inside myself right now. And he also said stuff like, I played this, I think he said I played it 1 million times, but I've never been in it. Like that, right? So that was like, and that's so interesting that even us as developers are actually getting really, everything okay?
We're good.
Okay, I just being overwhelmed of the level of detail, and also just the sense of scale and all the stuff you get from VR. That NPCs are actually the same size as you are now, right? And the structures, the buildings, getting a sense of vertigo by climbing a drain pipe, stuff like that. That is quite amazing. And then the amount of content that we have
across the whole trilogy.
Yeah, we're talking 3 games, 3 full games here, right? And every single level has its own little signature. It has its own little. It's you can tell that it's so handcrafted, and there's been put so much love by all the people on the team, and experiencing that really firsthand now is quite something.
So let's talk about the sort of the new types of gameplay and the sort of possibilities that you're able to sort of experience with VR that you couldn't do before, or that you can't do in VR. Like, you're obviously talking about being up close to things and hearing things. What are some other examples of actually playing the game and how different it feels?
Yeah, something we discovered also pretty early on. I think Paris was. There was something in Colorado as well. We played Colorado a lot in the beginning for some reason. But there's all like these corners in the level, and like little holes in scaffolding and stuff. Right. Like, but that's just in the environment, right? And that hasn't been like a gameplay space before. But then when you go into first person and in VR, then you all of a sudden you can look through like a gap in a fence, and then you realize that you can actually shoot your gun through there and like hit a guard. And we didn't know that was going to be the case. That there's like all these new possibilities and all these new gameplay spaces that are just there. That we didn't have to go in and like cut holes in the levels, because everything is, again, it's like super well crafted.
So well done.
We think, so like everything is just there. The material, like the base material of this game is just, it's just so dense with well crafted things, and all of a sudden you can use that for gameplay purposes. So that's one part of it.
Exactly. The little crevices and holes you see in there that you can actually use. But I also had, when I was crouching down and then suddenly being able to see under a table and just seeing legs walking by, and knowing that, okay, I could probably shoot these legs, or I can.
You can.
And do all, suddenly it's just these little angles that you've never been able to see before. Another thing that we knew, that because you have free range with your hands, you had to sort of be able to touch the NPCs this time around, which you couldn't really do before. You could bump them, but you couldn't really touch them. I think we showed a little bit where we were touching them with a crowbar, but you can also do it with your hands now, and they will react. And we heighten the fidelity a little bit there, so you're actually able to tap a certain NPC on the shoulder, and if you do it over here, they will turn this way. If you do it over here, they will turn the other way. Which it just adds some new tactics to how to bypass NPCs.
Really cool.
It's gonna be super cool to see the speedrunners, how they're gonna
how they're gonna exploit these systems.
Like make all the NPCs into like turning little like boop, 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 and then
no, but I think it's still tricky to.
It is
pull
still
off,
tricky.
right?
That's why I'm saying like I'm looking forward to the the virtuosos, how they're gonna So then another thing.
So someone's saying that you can massage the guards, or
massage.
Well, maybe not.
I guess
what's your definition of
but it's
massage?
true. You can sort of stroke them a little bit, right? But they will not necessarily like that.
Right, of course.
But there's a little leeway, so you won't get busted immediately, right?
But I guess if you keep pushing them. Eventually,
they will
say
react.
To you
they will react.
Yeah,
of course.
Right?
Oh yeah.
And that's
absolutely.
actually one of the things that we had to fix all of this, because it felt like unnatural that they wouldn't react. Right. This is stuff that we've added that wasn't already there, but we had to add it for VR because like the being able to slap somebody and then they don't react, like that just
strange.
felt counterintuitive.
The same. Another thing was that they get line of sight to you in the regular game on the capsule on 47's body, but not his extremities. So like arms and head, they wouldn't notice, and that has never been an issue before. But we found out that you could sort of lean out from a corner and then just look straight into the face of a guard, and you're not supposed to be there, and he would not react at all.
He just look at you with these dead eyes, like
dead
totally
eyes
unaware.
Just looking at you, and that was like, okay, you're not.
We kind of have to
you're
fix
not all
that.
there, are you? And so we added that they were able to see your hands and your head as well, which we at first thought, oh man, this could be super punishing for the player, but it actually feels. You can use it as a tactic now. So if you're in this LVA or the limited vision area, the vegetation in the shrubbery, you can you can put your hand up and then you can hear the attention gain if somebody's looking in that area, or you can open a door and then stick your hand out and you can hear, and then all right. Okay. So we're actually using it as a tactic, or it turns out to be a new tactic. To sort of navigate the surroundings.
So you're telling me speedrunners are going to be running around tapping shoulders and sticking hands out of bushes all over the place.
Exactly.
That's
it's going to be like a
ballet.
ballet.
Well, that could be
a ballet.
Or maybe they do find out something completely different, because there's so many there's so much new stuff that we are still finding out, right? Because
stuff like the thing that thing with now you can take the guns and you can usually you can just place them in the regular game or drop them, right? But now you have them in your hand, so you can actually reach out and then just drop them. So you have like a new sense of reaching, like putting guns, and guns are really good to use as distractions for guards, right? Because they will be like, oh, and then they'll pick it up and they'll take it to a crate.
So if you're on top of a building, you can reach out and drop them down. But another thing though is you can also throw them,
or you can
because
like
you can
fling
move
them.
your controller and then fling them. And I tried it here the other day where I was standing. I had these guards behind this sort of half wall, and they were talking together, and in Marrakesh, and so I was like, all right, maybe I choked out this other guard,
probably,
which worked, and was very silent, which was great. And I took his rifle, and then I tried to like fling it over to see if I could, get them to get away from each other, because one would pick it up. But it landed on top of the of this wall, and I was just gonna abandon it, but then I heard Cecil saying, no, let's try to push it down. And so
pick up a wrench and push it.
Yeah, so I took my wrench and I was like trying to push the gun just exactly like you would try to get a ball out of a tree or something like that. And the physics started taking over. In the end, it worked, and it fell down, and I could just say, what the hell is that? Right? And then
like,
they discovered the gun and started doing their thing. And that was just another discovery.
And that's again
right?
all these new possibilities. Like it's just adding a new, like it's a game that's already has a lot of possibilities, right? But now there's just an extra layer of like, okay, now we can do this and that, and let's see how people are going to use that to solve the mission, right?
It's going to be quite
it's going to be a lot of super interesting discoveries that people are going to make. I mean,
also I really like I like the fact that you can play the entire trilogy in VR. So when you get Hitman 3, and I should clarify, it has to be within Hitman 3, and then you can import the locations you already own. You guys know this into Hitman 3. When you're playing them in Hitman 3, you can go to Paris. And a lot of people have played Paris. A lot of people know Paris, as well as Jakob knows it, like the back of the hand. They know where people go, what's going to happen, and then now they can sort of start to imagine with all the new things that you're saying is possible of what they can do, where they can go, like seeing people under tables or
exactly
that whole sort of layer of it is ridiculously incredible.
Yeah, like flinging, actually, like bodies,
flinging a gun over a wall,
or bodies. You can drag them now, like kind of free form, and then you can like fling them too, which you can't in the regular game. Like you can only drag them and then drop them, and now you can actually fling them under tables and hide them, or like kind of
get them over, low cover and stuff like that. Right.
So there's just these we're just opening up for Let's see how people are going to use that.
Or hitting them over the head, down the stairs, over
and
the,
they fall,
the railing,
and then
right? And they can fall all the way down, and now you can follow them all the way down, which also feels pretty good.
Yeah,
it does.
People asking, can you hide under tables, or can you just look under tables? As it is right now, it's still in development.
Hide under table, but I don't think we have that many. That's
in
not
Paris, I think, in the kitchens and stuff.
But they have.
But a lot of them have geometry underneath, right?
Okay,
so there is some blockers on there.
You can look under the tables, at least.
Oh yeah. But see, that was the thing.
And but the thing is, actually, we discovered that like hiding behind a door that's open is kind of, and you can do that in a new, and at least it feels more intense now, right? Because you can like. You can actually like lean your head back, and then I noticed myself just holding my breath.
Okay.
And then like somebody is like walking past, and I'm like, oh, especially like on New Zealand.
Yeah.
That happens a lot because that's the house where you're like kind of home invading, and then they come home, and then it's kind of like then you have to stealth your way around. And in that house, there's a lot of those doors, and actually we removed some geometry from the existing levels just to make room for you to be able to hide behind the door in VR, right? And because you can lean up towards. So there's like this whole like physical tension.
I mean, the sense of being there is heightened tremendously.
Yeah.
Another thing that we noticed was that actually being able to hear the guards when they're chasing you. So you run in, you're standing behind the door, and then suddenly you can hear running footsteps coming down a hallway, and you can hear how many they are, and to a point where you can actually go without seeing them, but then suddenly you're all right, he's right out there, I can go out now and then attack, which is just another added level of immersion that wasn't exactly there before, but we just beefed it up a little bit, right? Yeah. So the footsteps that you could actually navigate, you can hear them. Also, if you're hiding behind the cover, because in the third-person game, since the camera is out here, it's easier to navigate around the level. So yes, that is of course more tricky now, because when you hide, it's not always you can see them, but you can, because you can still, but you can still move up, and then maybe if they have the, maybe they will start getting attention to you, and then you have to duck down like this, right? So there's a lot of actually physical movement when playing the game that you need for the added gameplay. It works. It actually works doing this, right?
So sort of you're physically,
but you can't help it. You hardly, you actually don't.
Makes a difference, right?
The thing is, you don't really notice you do it because you're so much in there that you actually do this, and then it works, right?
And then you stand up, and then you poof.
Exactly.
I imagine it's probably the most entertaining game development to watch. So if I was to sit down and watch you two trying to figure these things out,
there's been a lot of,
it would probably be more entertaining than watching.
It's been a lot of laughing and a lot of spilled coffee
and a lot of broken glass
and breaking glass and stuff like that, because you get so immersed that you forget the physical world.
No injuries, I hope, or not too many serious ones.
We got some busted knuckles.
Busted knuckles and stuff.
And that's from
punching,
especially you actually hitting
punching, really. Just punching the table. I keep punching the table. Like, because I'm punching somebody in the game, right? Yeah.
Just to clarify. I think we talked about that, like, I think that's a really cool thing of, I'm looking forward to that the most, of sort of being in cover and then not having the advantage of the floating camera and just sort of watching and waiting for 47. The fact that you can't see where the guard is, and that you have to sort of be brave enough to literally pop your head out and listen to like which way is he going. And I'm sure sometimes you'll get it comedic timing and pop your head out to have a look as right as they come around, like, where you're looking at them. Which
that does happen.
Must cause some cool moments. Basically, it sounds like a whole lot of fun.
It is.
I mean, on one layer of it, I'm sure there's it's a lot of hard work, right? Don't get me wrong, but
fun to make it.
It sounds like when you're playing it, that
really
you sort of
to
have
make it.
all these bonkers options available to you. That it's more like just.
I think
you can mess around and have a lot of fun.
Absolutely, and I think we're surprised at how much actually worked out of the box, or how much was sort of almost there, that we could piggyback on these physics systems already being there. So there's a lot of breakables in the game, mostly used for you shooting and to create nice effects,
like
right?
Bottles
and stuff like that. And you can, now because you can interact with them just by touching them,
you can smash them.
we needed the AI to be able to respond to that, right? And that gives a lot of added new gameplay where you can just smash something and they will react accordingly and get distracted. Also the glass, in the museum, for instance, I keep forgetting Montre. The glass cabinets. With all this.
Which museum?
Paris.
In Paris, for instance. Okay, but there are a lot of also on the new level we just showed.
Dartmoor in England.
Yeah. There are some great glass cabinets with some guns in them. But so the way that just being able to, destroy the glass in them by breaking the glass with a crowbar or whatever, it just feels super cool, right? Or you have your gun and you smash a window and start shooting through it. There's a lot of just added little fantasy moments in there because stuff is already there. Or in Sapienza, when the priest at his little what do you call that? Yeah, the confession booth. Exactly. It's just being able to. There's physics on the cloth, and being able to just peek in by removing the cloth with your hand, or just pushing it aside. It's like,
Or those really I never noticed those, but in Mumbai there's like these pearl beads, bead doors, but they're made from like bird skulls, and then going over and they have sound. Like everything is just. It's just it's so tangible. It feels so tangible. It is.
And of course they have little skull sounds, crackling skull sounds on them, and so that just works. That is not to say everything just worked out of the box. I mean, it is a lot of work, but it's also it's so amazing to come up with solutions for the areas that need extra love, right? Klaus right now doing in the hide in plain sight moments that you have, that you can now actually clean the table yourself as a waiter, right?
Okay, so like actually move your hand up.
And then with the cloth you're just cleaning it up, and he has a prototype in there right now, so if you don't do anything they will start. So you actually have to actually clean to be able for them not to spot you.
So it's not even like a rest as it maybe is.
No, but it's a prototype. It's a prototype, I know, but the promise of it is just amazing, right?
So I mean, you guys are still hard at work on polishing, and a lot of these different scenarios. I guess you have a lot more to consider of how does this work in VR, and how do we best do that, and how do we sort of, I don't want to say optimize, but it's something close to that, right? Making sure that the VR, Hitman in VR, sort of works in VR. That sounds very simplified, but
optimize or enhance certain situations.
Enhanced VR is probably the better word. That's really cool. Awesome. I don't have any other sort of talking points that I want to go through. If there's something that came up or that you think is important to get across,
otherwise
we can also take a few questions.
Because I feel like the chat is like they would like to.
We are close to end time. We will take our chance to take a look at questions. Being suspicious by not doing an expected action sounds really cool. The prototype you just talked about would be really, really cool.
Hand to hand
reacting that we notice them is another thing. So one thing that I can clarify for people is that when Hitman 3 launches, the game will launch with PSVR support. That's what we can say right now. So when you're talking about other platforms and stuff like that, we don't have details to share right now.
And the move controls.
Is there music in VR? That's a good question. So I guess it's like the ambient music that you hear in the.
But there's also the soundtrack, like the soundtrack, right? Yeah. But actually, we did our sound, not us, but our sound. I have the.
We're dealing with sun that's blasting through us.
But actually, he made a different mix for it because it's a bit more subtle.
Again,
because but again, it's like the immersion thing, like
and also because you
presence.
use,
if it's like boop, boop, boop,
boop, you can hear where the people are coming from. So so you kind of need that that added.
But the music is there because we know that a lot of people use it for like. The emotional response from the game, right? Like, oh yeah, I fucking made it.
Yeah, you want to have that, right?
You need that moment of I did it, right? Okay, people asking about stuff that's not VR. I'm not going to talk about that. And it's also very fast. So a lot of people are talking about it, and we talk about it in the AMA as well. And I hope we can just reiterate what we said in the AMA. That right now, when we're talking about like moving your hand around and stuff, that's done through the motion controls in the DualShock.
It is.
Yes. So move controls are not in the plan for now.
For now.
Right. So we can draw a line under that. Yes. I know you guys are exploring it, and I'm sure people can tell from how you've explained all of the details, that you are on top of how this will be possible.
Yeah.
If you want to add more to it, you can.
Well,
the thing is, I mean, we played like when we started playing VR. We played a lot of Firewall and
0 Hour.
0 Hour, yeah.
Which is the squad-based shooter.
Multiplayer game, yeah.
And they supported the DualShock, but it, to our surprise, it had free range motion, and we were actually quite surprised that this tracking is not that bad, and we do need a lot of buttons and ways of navigating. Hitman is
it's quite a big game,
quite a big
to
game
traverse.
with a lot of controls in it.
Yeah.
And we were like, this is not the worst option. Also, our levels are, I think, playing just one level, one playthrough, it can be fairly lengthy, right? So we wanted also to make sure that people were able to sit down while playing. You can definitely stand up. We have a lot of testers, like other people in here, when they try it the first time, they just want to stand up. And that's good, and you can totally do that. But it's also nice to be able to actually sit and not tire. So for now, we're doing the DualShocks only, and have been quite surprised. We also totally understand why people wanna have.
But it's not that it's never going to happen. It's just our focus has been with the dual. Like we went with the DualShock for the first release. I mean, yeah. And yes, we have played Saints and Sinners. And yes, we have played Skyrim.
Yes.
But we weren't.
But we still chose to.
Yeah, but we still chose it, guys.
So I guess ultimately it's about making the decisions that are right for Hitman, and what might look like, hey, move controls would be cool. It's not always that simple, and you're making decisions.
There was a lot of
pros and cons,
pros and cons,
exactly.
and a lot of
like compromise and
just like what is
how it is to make games,
least worst thing we can do here, right? And we actually settle on something where people trying is like, this is actually really good.
And I know and I understand why some people will be like, oh, come on. But you guys, you're gonna be pleasantly surprised.
All right, awesome. There's lots of other questions about different things you can do in VR, about different modes and stuff like that. One thing I want to clarify is that the first-person perspective is for VR.
Yes.
And that's because, from my understanding, and please elaborate on it if you want to, is that it's sort of very tweaked to everything that's specific about VR.
It is made for
it's
VR, the
not
first person.
as simple as whacking a first-person mode into the third-person game. It takes a lot of effort to make the first-person mode work, and you're doing it around the VR perspective, right? I know a lot of people want to play Hitman in first-person, but Hitman will be in third-person, and when you play in VR, it's only in first-person.
It's only in first-person.
Almost like VR perspective rather than first-person perspective, right? Because there's tweaks that have to be made for the fact that you can move your head around and stick your arm out and stuff like that. That it's not just. You can't just take the work you've done in VR and go boom. Right now you can have first person.
Because it's a different hero controller in VR. Like
entirely different, regardless of how simple it might
sound.
Oh, you just stick the camera.
Just turn on.
Just turn on this.
It actually
never
turned
like
out
that.
to be a lot.
And it's not that we wouldn't want to do everything if we had all the time and people in the world, but we have to make choices and that's been one of the choices we've made.
Yes, of course, of thousands. So I'm seeing people. I'll take the last question. It's about being able to, if you've never played Hitman 1 or 2, and then you're like super interested in Hitman 3 having VR, you will be able to very easily from your copy of Hitman 3. So you need to have Hitman 3 to play in VR. You'll very easily be able to buy Hitman 1 and Hitman 2 from within Hitman 3, and then you'll just sort of build your repertoire of of locations. So you'll basically go from having the locations for Hitman 3. If you really want to go to Sapienza and play that in VR, buy them. Make sure those levels are in Hitman 3. You will be able to import them.
Just follow the whole story.
That's the way you do it. Right? You could also do that, like starting in the ICA facility, VR,
and taking it from the
all
very
the way
beginning,
through till redacted in Hitman 3.
Exactly.
It's going to be really, really cool.
And we would recommend it. I mean, again, like we have been babbling about this, but it's just these locations are just great, and they're like they're reborn in VR, if you can say that.
cheesy as
I
it
think you
is.
can. It is super cheesy,
that's
but
great.
hey, it's me.
Cheesy works.
So I'm sure we could sit here and take questions all day. At another point in time, you know, we are still, what is it now? We are on the verge of being in September, and the game is out in January. So I'm sure at some point we'll do more AMAs. We'll have you back on camera.
For sure.
We will
Probably
also have
play
more to say in blog posts. At some point, we're going to get the tech right. We're going to have you in here
We'd
playing.
love to
it,
show you
For sure.
us playing
Stick
it.
the
or-
PSVR headset
yeah,
on
yeah.
and
Yeah,
go
to
to town.
demystify for
Absolutely.
everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Look,
like,
look,
what
the
it is.
decisions we made are justified.
Yeah, yeah.
Look at it. Yes. Okay. So if there are questions that you're chucking at us, we will at some point talk about them. We've tried to answer as many of the big ones as possible, even the ones that are maybe the answers people might not want to hear.
Yeah.
I think just giving the perspective from the designers is super valuable for people to understand how it's set up and the efforts that you go to make it as awesome as possible. We will be hearing more from you guys between now and January.
We'd love to, and we'd love to show some new content as well.
Of course, I know you were.
And there's probably gonna
you
be-
came in a few hours before, and like, hey, we've got the PSVR headset. Can we plug it in?
Can we
Not 2
play
hours
it?
before, but let's find a way to do it. So we'll be making new clips, GIFs, and all sorts of stuff. that we'll be
Oh,
releasing
thank you,
really soon.
Mandy. And this is the last day of Ghost Mode, right? So it's also
yes.
an emotional day for me
Yes.
personally.
Yes.
It's true.
So you were a strong part of the Ghost Mode team, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And now it's the end of an era.
Now it's resting.
Yeah.
Resting
I'm
and waiting.
gonna miss it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would also
there's a
prefer
nice
VR.
chat is super sentimental. Ghost Mode is already dead and buried.
But VR is alive.
There you go.
Exactly.
Another
But
positive
Ghost Mode in VR.
Yeah, but
No, I know.
don't
I know,
make me
I know,
sad.
No, I'm sorry.
No more sadness.
Sorry. No.
It's Monday. We always use the stream at the end of the week, so it's super weird to do a Monday stream, but we're going to end Monday like that. I'm going to do a final round of thank you to you, Eskil,
Sure.
to you, Cecil, to Martin and Clemens, and everyone else that's contributed to making the stream work. Also for allowing us to book out Miami for the whole day. We've had the whole meeting room booked, so that's been great. Again, thank you for joining us on Twitch or on Twitter, wherever you're watching the live stream. I'm being told to look at the camera more, so I'll do that as well. I've been looking at the chat all day. I think it's the first time I've looked at the camera. We'll be back soon for the next stream for maybe more special guests. Not you guys, you get a rest next month. And we'll be back in the next...
But we want to come back.
You will be able to come back.
Soon.
Once we've figured out how to plug PSVR into the PC and get it all running up.
Shouldn't be.
We'll be ready.
Can't be rocket
I'm
science.
sure with your help we can make it work. We'll do a VR live stream at some point.
That would.
I've
that would
said it now,
be
so I have to do
interesting.
it.
Yeah,
Yes.
And we'll have you here in all your
In all
PSVR
our
headset
gear.
glory. It'll be great.
And
Cool.
just, yeah.
No
Bumping
bruised
into
knuckles,
the
though.
blah, yeah, knocking
Right.
down the lamps and everything. Okay.
Thank you
Enough.
for watching. Thank you for being here.
Thank
See
you,
you next time.
guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
There's been a death at Thornbridge Manor. An apparent suicide. The door locked from the inside. But this was a murder.
You little backstabbing prick!
The family has a dark past. The manor is full of old secrets. Any one of them could be the killer. Our target has hired the best detective of our generation to solve the crime. An excellent opportunity to get close. Don't you think, 47?